In this nugget, we're going to learn about how the ear works. Your ear is a sense organ used for hearing and for balance. The ear has three main parts. The outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. The part of the ear that you can see on the outside is called the pinna. It acts as a kind of funnel to direct the sound further into your ear. Here is a tuning fork. If I hit it, it will vibrate and make the particles in the air around it vibrate too. If we imagine the air particles inside your ear, the vibration from the tuning fork causes air particles inside your ear canal to vibrate. The vibration of the air particles causes the eardrum to vibrate. In your middle ear, you have small bones called ossicles. The vibration of the eardrum causes the ossicles to vibrate too. These bones are named after their shape. We have the hammer or mallet, the anvil, and the stirrup. The cochlea looks like a snail shell and is filled with fluid. The vibrations pass from the stirrup to this fluid through the oval window. This is a hole covered with a very thin membrane, so the vibrations from the stirrup can pass to the fluid inside the bony cochlea. If we have a look inside the cochlea and zoom right in, we can see lots of little hair-like structures. These structures turn the vibrations into electrical signals. The electrical signals are then taken to the brain via the cochlear nerve. Your brain will then interpret the electrical signals and you will sense a sound. This part of the inner ear is one of the systems responsible for balance. It's called the vestibular system. Let's look at it in a little bit more detail. These are called the semicircular canals, and they are connected to the cochlea, but the cochlea isn't shown on this diagram so that we can clearly see the canals. The canals are all connected to each other, and they are at right angles to each other. Inside the canals is fluid, and the fluid moves depending on the position of your head. The information about the movement of the fluid is transmitted to the brain by a nerve, called the vestibular nerve, shown here in yellow. If you imagine a bottle with some water in it, if we rotate the bottle, the water isn't going to stay where it is. It's going to flow with the bottle as it moves. This is what happens inside the semicircular canals. The canals can sense where the fluid is inside them and transmit this information to the brain, so you know the position of your head. If you spin around and around, you will slosh the fluid about. This makes you feel dizzy because the signals being sent to your brain are confused. You have to wait until the fluid settles before you stop feeling dizzy. There is one more part of the ear that we are going to look at. This tube, called the Eustachian Tube, connects the middle ear to your throat. It has two jobs. One is to drain mucus from the middle ear, but you only really notice this if you have an infection and are producing more mucus or the tube is swollen and it hurts. These infections are more common in children because the tube is smaller. Its other job is to keep the pressure equal between the inside parts of your ear and the outside world. If you've ever been in an aeroplane or swum deep underwater, you might have felt the pressure change. Occasionally you might feel your ear pop as the pressure suddenly equalises. To summarise, the ear is a sense organ for hearing and balance. There are three main parts: the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. Sound waves that reach your eardrum cause it to vibrate. These vibrations are passed through three tiny bones called ossicles and to the cochlea. The cochlea changes the vibrations to an electrical signal which is passed to your brain. Your brain interprets these signals as sound. The semicircular canals are filled with fluid that moves with the movement of your head. The canals can detect where the fluid is inside them and pass this information to the brain. Your brain can then use this information to stay balanced. Keywords: sound, a wave caused by vibrations. Vibrate, to move back and forth repeatedly. Pinna, the external part of the ear. Ear canal, the tube that connects the pinna to the eardrum. Eardrum, also called the tympanic membrane, a very thin cone-shaped membrane that transmits sound waves from the air to the ossicles. Ossicles, any small bone, but this term is mostly used to refer to the three small bones in the middle ear that transmit vibrations from the eardrum to the cochlea. Cochlea, part of the inner ear, shaped like a snail shell and turns sound waves into electrical signals. Nerve, transmits electrical signals around the body. Vestibular system, found in the inner ear, sends information about movement, head position, and balance to the brain. Semicircular canals, three connected tubes that sense movement and position of the head. Eustachian tube, a tube that runs from the middle ear to the throat, drains mucus and maintains equal pressure between the outside air and inside the ear.